All right. Hello.
Let's see here. You're live. Oh, we can just hang tight.
Come on in.
No followers yet, so we're gonna chill for a second.
All right.
Oh, we have one follower.
How's the lighting?
What's that?
The lighting? Or is it just dark like this?
It's a little bit dark.
Yeah. Can you tell us? You're in here. You're live. You're on.
All right.
So today we have 2006 Lewis Cellars Reserve Chardonnay. What can you tell us about this, Steve?
Lewis is one of those wineries that has gotten great respect from Wine Spectator. I don't think it's ever gotten equal love from Robert Parker. It is what I find to be a very well-priced, ageable California wine. It's a big style. In its youth, it's the kind of wine that some would probably compare to Cougar Juice. But as it gets older...
Big, bold, rich Chardonnay.
Big, bold, rich Chardonnay. They're not oaky, but big and rich. As it gets older, it develops some really beautiful characteristics. And this is across all of their products. They've got a Napa Valley Cabernet. They've got a Sonoma Cabernet, Napa Valley Chardonnay. They've got a Sonoma Chardonnay. This is the Reserve Chardonnay. They have a Barcalia Lane Chardonnay, but solid across the board. And so one of these ones that at a price point, at a value, at a quality, tends to be a beautiful wine. And these guys were doing it before Albert was necessarily doing it. They were doing it before Marcusson was doing it. They were really kind of there first and never got the respect I believe that they deserved.
So how long can you lay this down for? Would you like a drink window on this?
Well,
Let's find out right now.
this is at 9 years right now. You tell me what you
So
think.
9 years. That's
So this is a wine that I think when people think of bigger styles of domestic Chardonnay that they don't give it much credit.
Wait, question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it oak aged?
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Yes.
From the nose, from the place, absolutely. I can't tell you percentage new oak or anything like that. Just giving you solid. It's an oak Chardonnay.
So this is a wine that a lot of people would look at and say, almost 10 years on, big style of California Chardonnay, and it's probably going to be something that people might think is over the hill, but I have a feeling we're going to see something a little bit different from this sort of freshness and vibrancy with that structure.
So we're talking aroma. We have an aroma question. Does it have hints of vanilla?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say so.
I'd say so. It's a little bit cold. We just took it out of the cellar, so it's right around 50 or so, which usually for this kind of wine it's good, but maybe just a few degrees warmer. And
How do you warm it up?
just like you're doing, you have your hands on it. That's the easiest way to do it. The other thing is just to do something else for 20 minutes while your wine gets a little warmer.
Take it out of the fridge earlier.
Take it out of the fridge earlier, that kind of stuff. But it's really, you get some.
Oh wait, so Klaus, that's probably an American oak. Hey Klaus, are you tasting this with us? Question for Klaus.
That'd be pretty good. If you have a deep enough cellar, you can match us up here while we're.
No, he's just asking.
Okay.
Is it American oak?
I would assume that if you're talking about a Napa Chardonnay, you're talking about French oak. Usually, a difference you can smell a little bit more finer, sort of, ironically, that French vanilla aspect to a wine as opposed to the vanilla extracty type thing that you would tend to see with a little bit more American oak. There's definitely sort of like that grilled pineapple and coconut and stuff like that, but it's not heavy. I think that's one of the big goals that you're looking for when you're looking to get a balanced and age-worthy wine is even if you have power, it doesn't overwhelm and it's not heavy, it's not massive. Even if it's a bigger style wine, that can still be structured. Doesn't have to mean it's overwhelming or, there's a lot of stereotypes out there about oaky Chardonnays and, I don't know. I feel like well-made wine is well-made wine, and then you got to figure out what you like after that.
It's clean on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no corkiness to it. There's also no real oak on the nose. This is clean fruit. There's good acidity on it, good crispness to it. The color is, mid-yellow. It's certainly not a deep yellow. It's not the pale yellow. It's taking you right to that mid-range.
Yep, hold on. Karen wants some wine too.
Does she want a glass or just the bottle?
I'll take the glass.
So this is 9 years on. What do you think, Peter? You're looking at a wine here that's most people would say is relatively mature for California Chardonnay, and
I feel like we've had some California Chardonnays at 9 years in. They're definitely way past. But this still feels very drinkable and kind of mellow and good.
yeah, young, fresh, good acidity, really clean on the palate, sort of seamless texture to it.
It's sweeter than a French Chardonnay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I tell you that if you're going to taste this, this is definitely American. It'd be tough to pick it out as I think it's tough to pick it out as a 9-year wine.
Mm-hmm.
This is for my personal palate, this has got 5 to 10 on it if it continues to age at this rate.
Yeah, but also a wine that, again, we just popped and poured this, and it's showing really, really well. I think this is sort of a sweet spot, and
This is a wine you might let open up for a little bit longer before you drink it.
I like it right now. You know, you can tell me if you think otherwise. If this was a 2012, maybe I'd put it in a decanter and then put it in my fridge to get a little bit of air and sort of develop and get rid of some of that, some of the younger whites can show some awkward or sulfury or whatever tendencies. But wine like this that's been aged in a pretty good cellar, of course, clean.
Klaus wants to know, is it buttery on the finish? And he also said that he prefers no oak wines.
Well, then he's probably going to have to buy out of America for the most part, because it's going to see, and again, it's a question of how much oak does it see. To say that you like a no oak Chardonnay, do you really mean that you like a Chardonnay that sees 100% of used oak, or do you want something from stainless steel? In America, you're going to see a lot of, and especially in the higher end, they're going to see some oak.
Yeah.
It helps with the aging on it.
But you could also, you also have a lot of, this is buttery at the finish, but I don't think that necessarily detracts from the wine.
Because Klaus is saying French Chablis stainless steel.
Yep.
Is that it?
So that would be not this wine, but obviously that'd be the kind of wine that you're looking for if you're looking for the drier Chardonnay. But there are some really good, really crisp, fresh Grand Cru Chablis, some of them that are really modestly priced that you'll find end up with about 50%, 70% new oak, and it's really nothing like the kind of oak that you see. In Burgundy, if the fruit can handle the oak, they put a lot of new oak on it, and it tends to not be huge and massive. It just depends on the specific place of the wine. So,
words that you would not describe on this wine: flinty,
right.
mineral. You know, that's not what you're getting. So this is California style.
A little buttery,
but
not too much.
Well, it's a richness. It's a richness more than butter.
Balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wine's definitely in balance.
Yeah.
And as it gets just a couple of degrees warmer in the glass, it's getting just so much more richer, actually lighter almost on the palate than it was at first. When it was cold, you got kind of a thick concentration of fruit and then a high note acidity to it. Now it's much more blended in, much more harmonious.
Really good stuff. This is a Periscope exclusive. I don't think there's any of this available online right now. I actually looked at it.
Yeah. What if you could find it? What would you kind of expect price point to look like?
You know, I think recent vintages of Lewis Reserve Chardonnay are coming from the winery at around 75 or so. And you know, I think that if you enjoy this kind of style, it's among not the most expensive that'll be coming out of Napa, but I think it's priced well for its tier. I think it's one of the sort of more well-renowned, regarded Chardonnays that comes out every year. The recent vintages 12 and 13 will be great. And again, like Steve said earlier, there's not much insofar as big press for these wines. It doesn't really get reviewed by Wine Advocate that much. There's some notes from Wine Spectator, but it's really under the radar. But it's one of those wines that when you find people who are passionate and excited about the wine, they're sort of glad it's under the radar, because you can get really high quality without the, cult level price point. So,
and the beauty is, if you could find this bottle right now, someone had it,
mm-hmm.
most people would think, based on its year, that it's over the hill. And
Right.
the best part is what's in that bottle is a great drinking wine for years to come. I'm going to guess you could find it for $50 a bottle if someone had it out there.
Yeah.
And I pay $50 for this every day. Not every day, lots of days.
Okay, left field question from Klaus. How do you feel about New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs?
I think it's just like any other wine region. I think that the magic about wine and discovering wine is about finding what you enjoy about it and finding great expressions of any given area. So if you're talking New Zealand wine, I think there's a lot of great and exciting stuff coming out. One of my favorite producers, Grey Wacky, makes a regular Sauvignon Blanc and makes an indigenous wild yeast Sauvignon Blanc. They make a bunch of different styles, and they're really handcrafted, unique wines. And people can make special wines from anywhere. So first of all, you got to find out, do you like it? And then you got to find out if there's something to appreciate about a wine. Because you don't have to like it, but you can still appreciate the kind of that it's either varietally correct, or it's innovative, or it's interesting, or it is out of left field, or represents the area really well.
Is it fair to say that there's more time, energy, and money being spent exploring Sauvignon Blanc in New Zealand than anywhere else in the world right now?
Probably. I think if you think about that varietal, obviously it thrives in Loire, it thrives in Bordeaux, California, a little bit in Italy as well. I mean, it's a varietal that you see success from in all places, but it is the reference point for modern Sauvignon Blanc. Are the producers coming out of there, and just an incredible presence everywhere you look, from supermarkets to online retailers to everywhere. So it's sort of the reference point for that style, and that style is that grapefruity. There is some mineral to it, really refreshing, really tropical fruits, searing acidity, that kind of thing. And then, then again, if you like the more grassy styles, you like Sancerre. If you like the more full, unctuous styles, you might like Bordeaux Blanc. But I think if people think about Sauvignon Blanc, that New Zealand style is what they look at first.
Great. So before we leave, let's just talk. You can talk with me about, we got a big event upcoming on Thursday.
Yeah.
Live broadcast.
So we have Bibi Gretz. I think it's Manuela coming in to taste their range of wines with us. So we'll be hosting a winemaker, which is thrilling and exciting for us. We have a lot of really cool people come through the doors at Vinfolio, and I think it's one of the most exciting things about working here is being able to meet these people that have sort of been innovators and have shaped the wine landscape, and being able to talk to them and ask them questions. So obviously we want to extend that opportunity to our clients and be able to talk to these people that are making such fascinating, interesting wines. Bibi Gretz makes I think the most, he makes really high-end wines called Colore to everyday reds. And so we have the range of everything in between. And I think it's just one of those sort of cool, artistic cult wineries that people love, but probably don't know as much about that, as opposed to some other mainstream Tuscan wineries. So I think it's fascinating to be able to sort of get a peek into the mastermind behind the wines.
Great. On that note, Klaus said, "Great show, guys."
Thank you.
Nice work.
Thanks for
We're
joining
signing
us.
off. All right, we'll see you guys next time.